Modern Literature and Hospital English. 1.3 George Eliot's Middlemarch and Hospital English. Middlemarch is a novel written by George Eliot. The title of Middlemarch is, in full, Middlemarch, a study of provincial life. This novel was published in 8 parts in 1871 and 1872, and another 4 volumes in 1872. This novel has a total of 8 books. It is considered to be George Eliot's masterpiece. George Eliot is the pen name of Mary Ann Evans. Middlemarch is a realist work. It is set in the fictitious Midlands town of Middlemarch during the years of 1829 and 1832 in the 19th century English Midlands. The Midlands is an area of central England that borders the southeast, southwest, northwest, east of England, Yorkshire, and the Humber. This novel is a study of every class of society in the town of Middlemarch. The social classes range from the landed gentry and the clergy to the manufacturers and professional men, farmers, and laborers. This novel focuses on the thwarted idealism of its 2 protagonists, Dorothea Brooke and Tertius Lydgate. Both protagonists have disastrous marriages. Let me tell you some important storylines in Middlemarch. Although Dorothea Brooke is an intelligent woman, she makes a serious error in judgment. She chooses to marry Edward Casaubon, who is an arrogant scholar many years older than her. Dorothea Brooke hopes to be involved in her husband's work, but he is controlling and wants her to act as a secretary. Edward Casaubon becomes jealous when he finds that his wife develops a friendship with his idealistic cousin, Will Ladislaw. After Edward Casaubon has a heart attack, his wife is clearly devoted to him, but he stops Will Ladislaw from visiting him because he believes that his cousin will pursue his wife after his death. Dorothea later discovers that his will contains a provision that calls for her to be disinherited if she marries Will Ladislaw. Dorothea Brooke and Will Ladislaw initially stay apart to avoid scandal. However, they ultimately marry. Ladislaw later becomes a politician and ignores Dorothea's sacrifices. In the meantime, Tertius Lydgate's story unfolds. Like Dr. Jack Ferguson in D.H. Lawrence's The Horse Dealer's Daughter, Tertius Lydgate is a young doctor too. He is passionate about medicine. He focuses on his research. Soon after arriving in Middlemarch, a small early 19th century town, he becomes involved with and later marries Rosamond Vincy. He finds in her all qualities he wants in a wife. Rosamond Vincy believes that her marriage to Lydgate will improve her social class. Tertius Lydgate comes to realize that he has made a mistake in choosing Rosamond Vincy. She is shallow and uninterested in his work. Most harmfully, Rosamond Vincy's expensive lifestyle forces her husband to the brink of bankruptcy. Now you have an idea of the summary of this novel. We can concentrate on hospital English in relation to Dr. Tertius Lydgate in this novel. Dr. Tertius Lydgate's story starts with chapter 10 in book 1. Lady Chatan has a conversation with her friends. In the following conversation, they have a discussion on symptoms and medicines. Lady Chatan, who attributed her own remarkable health to homemade bitters united with constant medical attendance, entered with much exercise of the imagination into Mrs. Renfrew's accounts of symptoms, and into the amazing futility in her case of all strengthening medicines. Where can all the strength of those medicines go, my dear? Said the mild but stately dowager, turning to Mrs. Cadwallader reflectively. When Mrs. Renfrew's attention was called away, "It strengthens the disease," said the rector's wife, much too well-born not to be an amateur in medicine. Everything depends on the constitution. Some people make fat, some blood, and some bile. That's my view of the matter, and whatever they take is a sort of grist to the meal. Then should ought to take medicines that would reduce the disease, you know. If you're right, my dear, and I think what you say is reasonable. Certainly it is reasonable. You have two sorts of potatoes, fed on the same oil. One of them grows more and more watery. Ah, like this poor Mrs. Renfrew. That is what I think. Dropsy. There is no swelling yet. It is inward. I should say she ought to take drying medicines, shouldn't you? Or a dry hot air bath. Many things might be tried of a drying nature.